Hey, Griffin. Hello everybody! How are you all doing today? This weekend I am having what I like to call a cozy weekend, which is just my nicer way of saying a lazy weekend. And I was going to put on some clothes to make a video today, but then I was like, wait, why? I have an even better idea. I'm gonna stay in my pajamas and I am going to make a cozy reading day video. I know that many of you out there enjoy doing the same exact thing that I am doing, which is just staying in your pajamas and escaping into the lovely world of books. If you yourself are having a cozy, aka lazy day, I am making this video to recommend some books that I personally think would be perfect for this type of cozy day. I am so cozy right now. I got my fuzzy Christmas pajamas, and yes, I am wearing Christmas pajamas because no, it is not too early. It is never too early. And I got fuzzy slippers, so basically I am set. A lot of the books I'm going to be talking about today are ones that I have talked about pretty often on my channel, and that is because most of these are in the fantasy genre, and I tend to talk a lot about my fantasy reads. I feel like fantasy books are just the absolute best escape, and when I read fantasy, I just feel so cozy and content inside. These are definitely some of my favorite books that I am going to be showing. The first one that I have here is Grave Mercy by Robin Lefevers. I love this book. Grave Mercy is a historical fantasy, and it follows a girl named Ismay who has just escaped a terrible arranged marriage, and she finds sanctuary in a convent by the name of Saint Mortaine. But Saint Mortaine is not a regular convent. The sisters of this convent worship what is called the gods of old, but in particular they worship the god of death himself. Essentially, this book is about nuns who are assassins, and you may be thinking to yourself, wait a second, nuns and assassins. Somehow those two things don't really work well together. Well, trust me, in this book they do, and it is awesome. They are referred to as Death's handmaidens. Ismay is training to be one of Death's handmaidens, and one of her first tasks is to go and spy on a very mysterious man named Gabriel Duval under the cover of his mistress. This book is my baby. It is my baby, and I love it. Even though this book is really, really lengthy, I found that it never dragged. In fact, I could not put it down. I think this book is great for a cozy day read. With the older historical setting and then the fantasy elements, it just really does a great job at fully enveloping you in this entirely different world and kind of transporting you back into time. I just cannot recommend this book highly enough, so please, please, please go and read it. The next book that I have is The Hallowed Ones by Laura Bickle, and this book also has a very strange combination of things in it. This book has Amish people and vampires. This book follows a girl named Katie who lives in an Amish community, and in this community there have been strange killings and disappearances occurring. So the elders of this community make a rule. Nobody within the community is allowed out, and nobody outside of the community is allowed in. But of course, our main character, Katie, breaks this rule, big surprise, when she finds a dying man on the borders of the community, and she lets him in, and that is all I'm gonna say. I think that this book is perfect for a cozy day, especially a dark and stormy day, because it really does have that dark feeling to it, and you just kind of want to get under the covers and not ever come out because it is pretty creepy. But personally, I think that darker books are great for a cozy reading day, especially when the weather outside is super depressing. It really fits the mood. The next book that I have here is Crimson Bound by Rosamund Hodge. Rosamund Hodge is popular for her fairy tale retelling. She bases all of her books off of a classic fairy tale, and this book is inspired by Little Red Riding Hood. It follows a girl named Rochelle who serves her realm by fighting off all of the evil creatures that reside in it. In this book, it starts off with the king giving her the command to guard his son, whom she hates. These two unlikely allies have to team up together go out into the world and find this special sword that may be the only key to saving their world. It is very much that classic fantasy concept of the unlikely pair going out on an adventure to find the one thing that saves the world. There are so many books with that plot, but they're great. I love those plots. I could read a million of those plots. I honestly adore anything that Rosamund Hodge writes because her writing is very poetic and lyrical and beautiful and just is wonderful at pulling you in. Next, I have Uprooted by Naomi Novik. It takes place in this fantasy world following a girl named Agnieska. Very complicated name to say for me. Agnieska. So it doesn't feel right saying it with my mouth. It's just like blah blah blah. Agnieska. Anyway, Agnieska. Agnieska. I got it. I don't got it. Agnieska in this book lives in a village. Her village is surrounded by a forest, and in this forest resides a dark and terrible evil. People of this village are protected by a powerful wizard who goes by the name the Dragon. The Dragon protects all of these people with a price. Every 10 years, he picks one girl from this village to come and live with him in his tower. This was the first book that I thought of when I thought of cozy day reads because it just is. Definitely has that kind of older classic fairy tale feeling to it. It's very dark and gothic, but also enchanting and magical. When I think of this book, I think of reading it next to the fire with tea in a blanket. Like, I'm pretty sure there is no other way to read this book. That is how you are supposed to read this book. The next book that I have to recommend is Poison Study by Maria V. Snyder. This book is absolutely amazing. I love this book. One of my favorite fantasies. It follows a girl named Yelena who is about to be executed for murder, but before she is killed, she is offered an alternative option, and this is that she becomes the commander's food taster. What this entails is that she would be given a luxurious room, food, clothes, whatever she wants, but she has to taste every single meal before the commander eats it and basically test it for any poison. She might end up dying either way, but at least if she's the food taster, she has the option of living. It has political intrigue, there's a good level of suspense to it, there is a slow burning fiery romance, which is just amazing. It's just such a good book. I love it. I love this book so much. Read it, please. Last and final book that I'm going to talk about today, I actually wasn't really going to include in this video because it's super well known, but then I was like, you know what, I have to include it because it's so perfect for this theme, and I'm sure there are a lot of people out there who actually have not read this book, and for those of you who haven't read it, I want all of you to read it. So for that reason, I'm talking about it. That is Outlander by Gabaldon, and yes, Outlander. Oh dear, Outlander. When I knew of this book, not that many people actually knew of it because that was before the oh so popular TV show came out, which I love, total fan, but the book is even better. So if you haven't read the book, but you love the TV show, oh my god, read the book. This book begins in the year 1945 following a woman who is a combat nurse by the name of Claire Randall. Claire is transported back to the year 1743 where she is right in the middle of war and these Highland clans, and she's right in the middle of it, literally. And she ends up kind of stuck with them, and she becomes an ally of a Scottish warrior by the name of James Fraser, who, well, once you meet Jamie, you will come back to this video and you will thank me, okay? If you love historical fiction and fantasy, if you love time traveling books, if you are interested in the Scottish Highlands, if you like a strong and opinionated protagonist, then this book is right up your alley. I definitely recommend that you read this book before you watch the TV show because there's just really no comparing the two. The TV show's great, but the book is just so wonderful. This book is perfect for this theme, I had to recommend it. So those are all of the books that I have to recommend for you guys today. I hope that you guys enjoyed these recommendations. I just thought with it being the fall time and the weather getting colder and everybody's inside and having more time to read with Thanksgiving break and winter break coming up, this would be a good video for you guys. Have fun. Let me know how your reading days go and let me know if you end up enjoying these books because I'd love to hear what you think about them. Anyway, I am going to go and continue my own cozy reading day because I have a lot of reading ahead of me. I'm so excited. I'm just gonna read and not do anything, and it's gonna be so great. I am going to wrap things up for today, so I hope that you guys all enjoyed today's video. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up. I hope that you all go and have yourselves a fabulous cozy reading day, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!